Good evening and Happy New Year. My name is Susan. I'm the lead consultant and biochemist at Naturop-Lifestyle. I did receive a number of emails and messages on hormonal imbalance, and I thought we could start the year with a session on the same. In this session, we will cover the symptoms of hormonal imbalance or the symptoms that hormonal imbalance leads to, the causes, the root causes of hormonal imbalance, and natural treatment approaches that can help solve hormonal imbalance without necessarily going through the side effects that are associated with synthetic treatments. Now, hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, insulin are very important in the body's functional system. And any imbalance of these hormones can result in adverse effects for your health. The endocrine system is actually structured in a way that it works to control the hormone levels of a human being. So once there is a slight imbalance in the hormone levels, this always results in several health problems. Conventional methods are being used to address hormonal imbalance, and these include hormone replacement therapy, thyroid, thyroid medications, birth control pills, the pills we use for hormonal, oral contraceptives, and also insulin injection for diabetics. Sadly, these come with side effects, and the user becomes dependent on the prescriptions to maintain or to control the symptoms. And in most instances, the synthetic medicines work in a way that they mask the symptoms of the disease or of the hormonal imbalance. And by masking, it always results in higher risk side effects like osteoporosis, infertility, menses during pain during menses, endometriosis, and all those. And so we have an approach that can be used naturally. That's the good news, that we can use natural approaches to ensure that the hormonal imbalance problem is solved. What are the causes? What are the symptoms of hormonal imbalance? Number one is infertility. A lot of people are trying, especially maybe you have a first or second child, but you are trying in the third or fourth child. This could be caused by hormonal imbalance. Number two, digestive issues. These include bloating, constipation, indigestion, and in most instances, irritable bowel syndrome. We also have issues to do with overweight, issues to do with insomnia, lack of sleep, issues to do with low libido. Okay, um, in normal terms we call it low sexual interest, and in men sometimes it can be erectile dysfunction. All these fatigue, all these are symptoms of hormonal imbalance. Now, the symptoms range dramatically depending on the type of disorder that they cause. For example, an increased level of estrogen always results in fibroids, it can result in endometriosis, it can result in infertility. There are a number of problems, health problems, that are associated with hormonal imbalance. These include estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance is a high level of estrogen and a low level of progesterone. That is what we call hormonal imbalance. And when that happens, in most instances, it results to fibroids, change in appetite, and it can even result in a change in sleep pattern. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, this one also causes infertility, weight gain, low testosterone, low estrogen, hypothyroidism, low iodine or iodine deficiency. That is also related with weight gain, fatigue, digestive issues, infertility, slow metabolism, and irregular periods. Low testosterone in men, that is a sign of hormonal imbalance, and it often results in erectile dysfunction and muscle loss. We have issues to do with diabetes, where you start experiencing nerve damage or neuropathy and weight gain. Adrenal fatigue. I have been receiving a lot of concerns on muscle aches and muscle pain, and this could be as a result of hormonal imbalance. Now, what causes these hormonal imbalance systems? Number one, diet. Diet and lifestyle is the root cause because it is directly associated with the gut issue that we are going to handle shortly. Diet like fried foods. Then we have fatty foods. We have carbonated drinks like sodas. We have alcohol, caffeine. We have red meats. We have dairy products. We have white meat, chicken that is being injected with antibiotics and hormones. All this, they result in hormonal imbalance. Number two, the gut issue I mentioned earlier. Now, recent research shows that um, gut health plays a key role in the well-being and the health and well-being of a person, and it most importantly plays a big role in hormone regulation. Now, we have cases of leaky gut or unhealthy gut where you have a person has a deficiency of probiotics or good bacteria lining the intestinal wall, and this allows the toxins and unwanted food products to leak through into the blood, and these and toxins also, these result in inflammation. That is why inflammation, all types of inflammation, stems from the gut and impacts all aspects of the body. Now, another reason is overweight. When you have too much weight, that also results in hormonal imbalance. High stress levels, which are also associated with lack of enough sleep or lack of rest. How does this result in hormonal imbalance? The hormone that is related to stress levels is called cortisol. We call it the stress hormone. Now, this hormone is the the hormone cortisol is regulated at midnight. Anytime you sleep late, then the hormone is not regulated at the times that it is supposed to be regulated. So, what happens when it's not regulated? The hormone cortisol, you will wake up in the morning with a high level of morning cortisol. We call it high levels of morning cortisol. And this will result in increased stress levels, low immunity, again increased cortisol hormones. So obviously the cortisol hormone, called the stress hormone, will result in too much stress, and this ultimately results in hormonal imbalance. What do we want to do next? We want to learn how to balance hormones naturally. How do you balance these hormones naturally without necessarily having to deal with doctors? Number one, diet and lifestyle change. Remember, our first course was diet and a sedentary lifestyle. How do you change your diet? Replace fatty unhealthy carbs, carbohydrates, with healthy fats. These include flax seeds, which are omega-3. Use healthy fats that are full of omega-3 and omega-6. These include salmon, and these include these include flax seeds. There is one I want to mention that has shortly escaped me. We have salmon, we have flax seeds, we have avocado. I want to tell you, eat a lot of avocado because it's plenty. It has plenty of healthy fats. Number two, use essential oils. When you use essential oils, you're obviously going to replace toxic body care or cleansing products with healthy hormone balancing essential oils. For example, lavender oil. You take lavender oil, take 5 drops of lavender oil and put in your water, for example, your water bath, and soak yourself in for 30 to 40 minutes. Or you take 3 drops of lavender oil and apply around your wrists or the back of the neck. This will help a lot with balancing emotions. Lavender is important in balancing emotions. Number two, emotional balance. Number two, we have sandalwood. Sandalwood is very important in reducing stress, increasing libido, and also promoting relaxation. So how do you use it? You take 2 drops, 2 to 3 drops of sandalwood and apply on your wrist or also at the bottom of your feet. Number three, take thyme oil. Thyme oil is very important in balancing or increasing progesterone levels. It increases or improves progesterone production. So you take 2 drops of thyme oil and 2 drops of coconut oil and massage it at the around the abdominal area. This will support the liver and assist in metabolism, and besides that it will help improve again progesterone production, as we said earlier. Castor oil. Castor oil is important, as I will show you how to make a castor oil pack later. It is very important in stopping the proliferation of unwanted tissue, overgrowth of tissues. So we are going to see how we can make a castor oil pack so that you can use it at home. Supplement your diet with supplements, healthy nutritional supplements like vitamin D. When you go for vitamin D, you go for a vitamin D based with olive oil. Vitamin D is an oil-soluble vitamin, so you can emphasize on getting vitamin D that has olive oil as the base. However, it is important to try and optimize your vitamin D sources from the sunlight. The skin itself makes vitamin D anytime you expose yourself. But in the body, vitamin D does not work as a nutrient. It works as a hormone that keeps inflammation down and also increases or improves your immunity. Number three, use probiotics. Remember the gut issue that we talked about. Probiotics work by repairing the gut lining. It also helps ultimately to balance your hormones. Probiotics are healthy bacteria that increase the production of good bacteria and regulation of key hormones like insulin within the intestinal lining. So with a healthy intestinal lining, your gut health will be improved, inflammation issues will be cut down, and you will have enough bacteria. That means when you have good bacteria, they will take the bad bacteria. What does that do? That means bad bacteria will be outgrown by the good bacteria. And that means no inflammation and your body will be healthy because your metabolism will be working at optimal levels. So, and emphasize, ensure you have probiotics. At Naturop, we have very nice probiotics with 10 billion strain bacteria like lactobacilli, bifidobacterium, and bacillus. And those are very important in ensuring that you have a healthy gut. Lastly, you use botanicals. So at Naturop, we prepared a number of botanicals which will help support liver and assist in metabolism. They will also increase in the metabolism of estrogens to break it down and stop it from being recycled. Remember, we want to ensure that estrogen levels are at the optimal levels, because when they are high, they result in estrogen imbalance. We also want to use botanicals that will stimulate normal functioning of sexual organs to avoid issues with libido. We also want to use the hormones, botanicals that will normalize the hormone system and minimize growth and manage the symptoms of hormonal imbalance like fibroids. We want to ensure that the botanicals work on that. And those botanicals include echinacea, dandelion, the burdock root. We have sage. Sage is a very important herb when it comes to managing hormonal imbalance. When you have the sage leaf itself, you just take an infusion of 5 or 6 leaves of the same, put in water, a glass of water, very hot water, then you can drink when it's warm, when the infusion is ready. We also did a mixture of turmeric and also a powder of flax seeds, because flax seeds fall in a class of cyclooxygenase herbs and inhibitors. These ones, they inhibit. And show you flax seeds. Flax seeds, they are very important in managing hormonal imbalance. So you take a tablespoon of flax seeds or its powder, and you can spray it in your food. You can spray it over your food or in your juice as a powder, or you can take the seeds themselves, or when you're baking you can use them. It's very important in managing the symptoms of hormonal imbalance, and they increase the metabolism of estrogen that will help in balancing the hormones. Now, at Naturop, we have prepared a mixture of all the herbs that are needed to balance your hormones. So when we are talking of a tablespoon, and you take this tablespoon, so here you have echinacea, you got dandelion, you got sage, you got turmeric, you got yellow dock, you got burdock, and you got milk thistle. And these will go a long way in supporting the liver and assisting in the metabolism of your estrogens, and it will help in lowering estrogen production, which will help in balancing your hormones so that you can work or deal with the root cause of the symptoms. So if you need this, it's packed. I just had to show you here that it's mixed and it can help with the same. Lastly, I want to show you how to prepare a pack, a castor oil pack, quickly here to show you how to prepare a castor oil pack. So here I have a clear foil. You take the clear foil and place it at the bottom, because you don't want your clothes messed with castor oil. Castor oil gets really sticky on your clothes, on your beddings. So you take the clear foil and you cut according to the amount that you need for your pain, especially the pelvic area. Then you take them stand up. Then you take this plastic, this towel. Take the towel paper. Now, castor oil is a deep penetrating oil, so you want to make sure that it's well absorbed. So you put it like that around the area you want to be. And after you do that, you take this spoon of ours, spread it around the head area. Now, if you have a heater, you can heat the castor oil a little bit because it's very thick and you want it drawing the impurities from your body, from the tumor as fast as it can. So now you fold it like that to definitely come out, but you don't want it messing you up. Then this one is bigger than my size. Remember to cut the foil to your required size. Then now you can take the castor oil pack. We already have our castor oil pack. If you have to heat it so that it can be easily broken down, so that it can draw the impurities from the overgrowth, or if you're feeling pain around the pelvic area, you can just take the castor oil pack and place it around that pelvic area wherever you are feeling pain, and you can use the foil to rub it around, or whatever you can find comfortable to rub it around. But with it this way, it will not mess your clothes because it's well covered. If you're feeling pain in any the back or the lower back, you can still place it there and rub it around. The castor oil pack, you do it every 5 days of a week for 30 days, between 30 days. And for issues with fibroids or cysts or whatever benign tumor that you want to deal with, you put it up for at least 60 days. How do you want to test for hormonal imbalance? Go to your health provider and have him conduct a saliva test. You can conduct a saliva test to know whether your hormonal levels are okay. You can also do the blood test and request for hormonal imbalance test. You can also do the follicle stimulating hormone test, especially for premenopausal women and menopausal women. Have yourself do the follicle stimulating hormone test to determine if you have the hormonal imbalance. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, this information is for educational purposes and it does not substitute the counsel or advice given for your healthcare provider. God bless you. Thank you so much.